Hi, everybody. Today's little mini lesson is going to be about the overhead sun, or in other words, the sun at our zenith. So, to get things started off, what do these two things mean? Well, the zenith is the point directly above an observer's head. So, anybody on Earth can look directly above their head. You can see that from this diagram over here, that is at a 90-degree angle from the horizon. The overhead sun is the position of the sun when it is at your zenith. So, if you look up 90 degrees from the horizon, directly above your head, and you see the sun, we call that the overhead sun. So where on Earth does this happen? Well, in order to figure that out, we need to kind of consider a few things. The first thing is that Earth revolves around the sun once every year. The second thing is that the Earth is tilted on its axis, 23.5 degrees. And the Earth is a sphere. The Earth's shape is actually very influential on this. Because of these three things, the overhead sun will change position throughout the year. So again, where on Earth does this happen? Well, if we look at a map, the overhead sun has a couple boundaries. Its northernmost boundary is going to be at 23.5 degrees north. That's known as the Tropic of Cancer. And its southernmost boundary is going to be at the Tropic of Capricorn, which is at 23.5 degrees south. So the overhead sun will never be seen on Earth outside of these locations. So how does it move throughout the year? Well, on June 21st, it's the Northern Hemisphere's summer solstice. This is the longest day of the year for the Northern Hemisphere. And naturally, it would be in its northernmost position right here on the Tropic of Cancer. After June 21st, the overhead sun is going to kind of take a path south until it hits the equator. And that is going to be on September 20th. So going from June to September 20th is our equinox. This is when we have 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of night. After September 20th, the overhead sun will again move south until it hits the Tropic of Capricorn. On this day, when the sun is directly overhead at the Tropic of Capricorn, it is December 21st. This is the Northern Hemisphere winter solstice, or the shortest day of the year. And you can see that the overhead sun is the farthest away from the Northern Hemisphere that it will be. After December 21st, the overhead sun begins to move back to the equator until we have another equinox on March 20th. Again, the whole world has 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of night. And then again, it moves back up to its summer solstice position on June 21st. So here's a little question. Which position on Earth is receiving direct rays of sunlight? So we're going to have to figure this out using a couple of things. Number one, direct rays of sunlight indicate an overhead sun. When the sun's rays are directly on you, the sun is directly overhead. What time of year does this diagram represent? And where on Earth will the sun appear to be directly overhead? Well, we can see from this diagram that the Earth is tilted in this position where the Northern Hemisphere is tilted away from the sun and the Southern Hemisphere is tilted toward the sun. So in the Northern Hemisphere right now it would be wintertime, and in the Southern Hemisphere it would be summertime. So if this is true and it's the wintertime for the Northern Hemisphere, that means that the direct rays will be on the Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degrees south. So if you look at the Tropic of Capricorn right here, you can see that the sun is directly overhead at this location.